For the Craftology box, this month I'm making a banner, and with the materials that are inside of the Craftology box, for this you're going to want to take the thin chipboard that was included. You should have 3 sheets of thin chipboard, and you're going to need to cut 6 pieces that are 6 by 8. Okay, 6 at 6 by 8. Now we are going to cover that before we cut it, so it's easier to cut and we don't have to worry about matching everything up. So you're going to need 2 pieces of paper that are also 6 by 8, and then you're going to need 1 that is 5 by 7. Okay, so a total of 12 then that are 6 by 8, so 6 on the back, 6 on the front, and then you're going to need 6 that are 5 by 7. Okay, and this is all in the cutting guide in the Craftology box. So what I would do is, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to adhere the back paper first, and I chose all of the polka dot paper for the back, and there's 3 different colors, and I'll show you the papers I chose here in a second. And then I have 2 different styles for the banner. One is more of a pennant, and one, the triangle cutout is a little bit different. I don't know the name for it, but alright, so I get that on there, and I just want to make sure that it is adhered real well. So I just use my We Are Memory Keepers tool here. It's good for large surfaces. So then on this side, this is going to be the front, and I'm just going to adhere this on the front. And I tried to look at the papers and go find a pattern, or a way to go like heavy, like floral then not floral, floral then not floral. I am very partial to the papers that have the flowers on it. Love them. So, and if you want to lay yours out like mine and cut the same papers, there'll be pictures on the cutting guide of the Craftology box. They always include pictures. Okay. And make sure that's on real well. So this is what I would do with all 6 pieces first. Now I've done some off camera. Okay. So I'm going to do, because I have 2 different styles of the banner pieces, I'm going to go ahead and do the next piece also. I've already adhered the back, which is this pink polka dot. And this is going to be the front, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. Now we are going to do some inking, but that's going to be after we cut. The lightweight chipboard is perfect for this. It's not too heavy and not too light, so it'll be it'll hang real nice and be sturdy, but not so heavy that it's going to fall, or well, you're going to need extra support. So the thin chipboard is perfect. Okay, lay that down. And burnish it on real well. So because there are 6 flags, or 6 pieces to the banner, 3 of them will be one style and 3 will be the other style. Okay. So I'm going to set this one off to the side, and let's work with this one. So this one is going to be this style, where it has the cutout, a triangle cut out of the bottom center. So we have the 2 pieces off to the side, and then the other style is going to be just come to a point in the center. Okay. So this particular one that I'm doing is going to have the triangle cut out here. So what you're going to want to do is get a pencil and measure up 2.5 inches and put a mark. Okay, 2.5, and we'll go back and erase the pencil marks. Okay, so 2.5 there, and then 2.5 on the other side. Okay, just put little tick marks. Now I'm going to place my ruler on those 2 marks that I made at 2.5 inches up, and I'm going to place a pencil mark at 3 inches, which is halfway in the middle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ruler, and from that middle point down to the corner, line up my ruler. Now you want to let your glue sit just for a little bit, just to make sure that it is not wet, so that when you cut you don't rip your paper. So I gotta see where that mark is. Where's my pencil? There it is. You can draw a line if you want. I'm just going to line up my ruler and go that route. Okay, and then same way on the other side. I'm going to place my ruler at that point, go down to the corner, and slice. And I need to go through it just a little bit more. Even though it is thin chipboard, make sure you get a clean pass through so it goes all the way through. Okay, and you can just take that piece off. I've got a little bit of snipping I need to do right here in the center. Okay, so there's that. Now I like to take a file and just make sure that it's a smooth edge, and I'm just going to go over the front, and I'll do the back also. I need to trim something here. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the piece that we're going to put on top, but our measurements are a little bit different. So this was the 5x7 piece. This time I measured up 2 inches and put a mark rather than 2.5. So a 2-inch mark on each side. And then the middle here will be 2.5 because it's 5 inches across. So I'm going to line up my ruler on those 2 marks. I hope my head's not getting in the way. And I'm going to place a tick mark at 2.5. Okay, so then I will go to that center down to the bottom corner, and I will line up my ruler, and I'll just take my blade and pass through. Okay, I didn't do a very good job. Let me go through with my scissors and trim that, or go all the way through. Okay, and then the other end. Okay, so just like I did on the chipboard piece, I'm going to go ahead and just file that and make sure it's nice and smooth on both sides. I do see some pencil marks, so I'm going to get my eraser and just get rid of those. Okay, so I am going to ink the edges, and I am using a Tim Holtz ink, and I'm using ground espresso. I've been using this color a lot. I used to use oh, what was it? Vintage Photo all the time, but I really like this ground espresso. And I'm just going to go around the edge. I like having a little bit of that antique look on the edge with the ink. And it also covers up the white on the side when you cut. And then we're going to do the same thing with the chipboard piece. So I do the front and the back when I am inking. So you can see about how much I'm putting on there. Some people like a heavier look, some people like the lighter look. Now my paper doesn't go all the way to the edge, it's pretty close, but by the time we're done embellishing it, you won't even notice that. And with the ink, I didn't erase that, with the ink, you don't really notice it either. All right. Now again, you're going to make 3 of this design. And then you'll do 3 of the other one. If you like one style better than the other, obviously you can choose to do them all the same also. Or you could even incorporate a third, have 2 of each design, and then do one that's in the shape of a triangle, you know, like a regular pennant. Then you could go every other one. Okay, one more side. And because this is red, I'm just trying to make it a little bit darker so you can see it. Okay, so now we're just going to adhere the piece that we cut, and I'm going to center it at the top like so. Okay. Now if you wanted to, you could probably pop this up on foam tape to kind of give it some more dimension. I plan on getting some dimension with other embellishments, so I'm not using foam tape on this. You could even put it on chipboard if you wanted to give it some thickness. Okay, and again, just center it. If you want to measure, you can. I'm just going to eyeball it. And that looks pretty good. Okay. So there's that. And now let me show you the other one, the other style. So this one, I love this paper. This one is so beautiful. So this one we are going to do the center point again, this time at the very bottom. So it's 6 across, so let's go ahead and put a tick mark at 3. And then measure up 2.5 on the sides. And put a little tick mark. And on the other side also. Okay, so I just do it real light, just little, I don't know if you can even see it, but it's right there. And then there's one right here, and then down in the center. So I'm going to take my, this one's actually easier to cut. I'm going to take my knife, my cutter, my cutting blade, and I'm just going to line up my ruler from the 2 marks. And there we go. And then line it up on the other side. Like so. Okay. I need scissors just to trim that one just a hair. So once again, I'm going to take my file just to make sure that it's smooth. And I'm going to do the other side too. Okay, erase those little marks so you don't see them. And we do the same thing then with this paper. This one is 5 inches across, so let's go ahead and put a mark at 2.5. So I measure up 2 inches on each side instead of 2.5, because I do want to see both pieces of paper because I love the paper so much. So I wanted a little bit thicker of a space so you could see both papers. I wanted it more to be, a lot of times when I'm mad I do 1/8 of an inch, and I wanted to see a lot more of the base paper. So okay, so you can draw a line again if you want. I'm just going to line up my ruler and swipe through, and on the other side also. Okay, erase what I marked on here, and let's go ahead and ink those the same way. So on the smaller piece we just do the front. Again, it's ground espresso. This paper in person is so pretty, you guys. I absolutely love it. And they have a lot of different papers too. Like there's a lot of different page designs. Okay, and let's do the chipboard piece, front and back. I like a little bit more showing of the ink. I like to make it a little, you know, noticeable. Okay, now turn it over and do it on the back too. This one seems to have a little bit more. This has a little bit too much overhang of paper for me. Okay. So you do want the back to look nice too. Some people don't do the back. Sometimes I don't even put paper on the back. I always like that finished look. So I like paper on the front and the back, and I like to do my edges, my inking on the back. Okay. And looks pretty even. Let's go ahead and adhere the paper. Get rid of my cutting piece here. Put away my ruler. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it when I center it. So it's about a 1/2 inch on each side, like so. And then I'll show you what the other ones look like that I already put together off camera. So if you want your paper designs to be like mine, you can. It's always cool to see other people's paper selections though when they're putting this together. Even though it's the same paper line, just choosing different pieces can make a huge difference. So I hope you post your final product if you're making the banner. Now with the Craftology box, other designers make things too, so you can kind of pick and choose what you want to make. Alright, so let me put the pin in my glue and then I will show you the other ones. Okay, so these were the first two. These are the two I just showed you. So this is going to be an end piece. This is going to actually have an L on here because we're going to spell out the word love. Then I have this one. So it is the typewriter print, and then this collage type paper, and the back is blue. Okay, and that will be the third one. The fourth one, look at how beautiful that is. It's the floral background with a big beautiful flower, and the back is red, so it went red, pink, blue. So that's going to be next. Let me move these off to the side so you can see. The next one had the pink plaid, and this was the reverse side of it, I believe, and that's kind of a collage type paper too, little squares of pattern paper. And then there's pink, so that's going to go next. And then finally the other end is hearts with flowers. There's a little bee right there, and then it's blue. Okay, so I wish I could show it all at once. I just don't have enough camera space here to show you, but hopefully you get an idea, and you can rewind it and look at it if you want yours to be like mine. Okay, so there we go, a total of 6. So now the next thing we want to do, or at least what I do, is I'm going to put holes to attach my banner pieces. So I do that before I decorate so that I don't lay things down that are going to get in the way of me punching a hole. You can just punch a hole, or you can punch a hole and put an eyelet in if you want it to stay nice. Because it's chipboard, it shouldn't rip or anything. Eyelets don't come in the Craftology box, but if you have them in your stash, you might want to put them in. So I'm going to get my Craftology and put holes on the edges here. And I don't know if I probably will try and fit it in on this space. I don't think I'm going to go in far enough that it's on the inside paper. So let me get my Craftology. I'm going to use the side, the 3/16 side, so the larger hole. And I have my, I don't know, the slider up pretty close. So when I do this, I'm going to turn it so that the straight side is towards me, and I'm just going to rest the board up against where I put the stopper, and I'm just going to center it. I say that, okay. Okay. And then the other side, this drives me nuts that these always stay in there. I wish they would just fall out. Okay, and then the same, I'm going to just place this and center it. Okay, so I'm going to do that to each piece. Now I do have some white eyelets, so I'm trying to decide. The only thing is we have to be able to put we're going to be putting some, oh, I kind of like that. I'll probably do that. So everybody's got to have eyelets in their stash, right? I bought a ton a long time ago and never used them. So if you have them, I think that adds a little bit, and it doesn't have to be white, it can be any color. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting in the holes. So the next one, let's see, there's that piece stuck in there. Get it out of there. Flat side toward me. Eyeball the center. Same over here. Eyeball the center. Okay. And I'm going to keep doing that. Get rid of that out of there. And okay. All right, you don't need to see me punch holes, but that's the next step then before we decorate. For banner piece number 1, this is the cut apart I used. No, this came from the ephemera pack. And then I backed it on some of the polka dotted paper. I did put a thin piece of the chipboard on the back so that it had a little bit more stability. We'll be using some of the white lace. The My Heart was a sticker, and I matted it on 2 papers, one on a light pink and then one on the blue color. These 2 are also from the ephemera kit, the 2 My Valentine and the little boy. And then this is from the chipboard sheet, and then the white bow that came in your package. So for this page, let's go ahead and trim our lace. It's going to go on the left hand side, and I'm just going to attach it with art glitter glue. So I'm just going to put this to the top, and I'm going to trim the bottom at an angle, and I can go back and trim some more if I need to. Okay, so it'll be easier to trim from the top, so I'm going to adhere it first, and then I'll go back to the top and get off that extra piece. And I'm just gonna, the art glitter glue will dry clear, so I'm just going to scribble some on here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can go, we're going to lift it and put some more adhesive on the back as needed. Okay, and I'm just going to lift this up and put some here on the side. And I'll make sure that the bottom is adhered. Okay, I'll let that dry. This is going to go off on the right hand side, and we'll just adhere. Now, because this will be hanging off the side, I want to go ahead and put some paper behind there, so that if you see it from the back, it's not messy. So I'm just going to take my scraps and mount that on the back. See, this is red on the back. I could do red, I guess. Let me trim this. I like it to be neat from the back also. So this is pretty much a 3x4, I believe, a little bit shorter than 4, and about 2.5. And a little bit more. Okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because it'll be on the back, but I want it to cover as much as that chipboard as possible. And that should be fine. I am going to ink the edge. Okay, let's go ahead and adhere that to that chipboard piece. And that's the thin chipboard. That was just left over from the banner pieces. Okay. So I'll put it about right here. So I'll just put glue on half of it. Like so. Now the little piece of ephemera that says "To My Valentine," I'm just going to hang that off on the side. And I've already inked the pieces on this. Okay, like so. And the banner, let me trim this first. The banner I'm going to place across the top here. Like so. Now this does have a backing that we need to take off, and then I add extra glue to make sure it stays good. And let's center that. Okay, press down. Now what I do is I lay things out, and then I take a picture so that when I am ready to put it down and glue it, I have a memory for me, because I don't always remember how I had it laid out, that I liked it. So now the My Heart, we're just going to put like so. Okay, so again, art glitter glue will do the trick. Now you could mount this on chipboard if you wanted to give it some height, or raise it and give it some dimension. I just have it down flat. And if you leave this for a while, it'll stay strong. It'll be firm. It won't come up. Okay. Now if you want, you can get clothespins and just make sure that they stay. And then the last one for this piece, again, I inked it already, and he's just going to go right here down on the bottom. And I might tuck him a little bit. Nope, right there. Art glitter glue. Like so. So now that's all we're going to do on the very first one. Okay. I guess I can clip this down. Just to make sure. All right, so we move this one off to the side. So the next one we're going to put together is the first one that's going to have a letter on it. And I did use the glitter that came in the Craftology box, and I just laid it down flat, and when you put glue on it, just make sure that you have an even amount of glue, so you don't have some spots that are empty and some that are full. Make sure the whole thing is covered. And let's go ahead and look at the pieces that we're going to use for this one. Okay, the second banner piece. This is one of the, is it 2x2? Yep, 2x2 cards that has the heart on it, and I just mounted it on some of that blue turquoisey type polka dotted paper. And I inked my edges. I did not put any chipboard on the back, and I'm just going to place that off to the side. So it's good to have things, I think it's good to have some things come off of the edge so that it's not always perfect. I think it adds a lot when you have things coming off. And now my glue's stuck. So I usually have something hanging off the edge. All right. So once again, I took a picture so I knew exactly how I had it, where I liked it. So I laid everything out first. And this is going to go about right here. Now I do have my glue gun heated up, or heating up, because when I adhere flowers, I like to use a glue gun. Okay. So there's that. let's see. We're going to place the letter L about right here. So I do want it to go over the heart just a little bit. I am going to use art glitter glue for that. Okay, and I'll probably have to wipe off some of the excess glue. So I'm going to hold that for a while just to make sure it sticks. I think that glitter adds a lot. It really makes it stand out. So let me get a baby wipe here. Where did I put my baby wipe? There it is. Okay. What do I have next? Let's go ahead. Now I did want to incorporate some of the lace. So this is just going to go at an angle. And it's just real subtle. I'm going to go ahead and use art glitter glue. And I will trim it once it's dry. Just putting that at an angle. So I'll let that sit for a little bit before I trim it. Okay. And what else? Let's see. Let me look at my picture. Whoops. All right, so I have this little blue heart off to the side here. And I'll just take the backing off of that. This is a chipboard heart. And I do add extra adhesive even though it's sticky. Okay. And I have this ephemera piece, and that's going to go up here on top of the lace. So I'm just going to put glue down at the bottom. So layering is always a good thing. And if my glue, let's go ahead and do this one before I do the flowers. I'm going to make sure my glue gun is hot enough. So this is a little sweetheart, you know, the hearts that have words on them, the conversation hearts. Oopsie, and I dropped it. There it is. And that's going to go near the bottom. So I'm putting a little glue on it, and I'll just kind of have it at an angle. Like so. And I have a pink chipboard heart that's going to go off to the side here. So when I'm making these, it takes me quite a bit of time to lay things out and decide how I like it best. So it was faster for me to do that off camera. You would have been here forever. It's just a matter of moving things around, trying different ephemera pieces, looking at the different supplies that were in the kit. And I didn't want to cover this up because it's so pretty. So now I'm just going to arrange my flowers. And let's see. Just a cluster of 3. Like so. And then I'll have the word sweet off to the side here. And that's the chipboard, so it kind of adds some dimension. Let's see if my glue gun is ready. Yep, it is. Okay, put some glue on the, I kind of have 3 sizes, like a small, a medium, and a large. Okay, these flowers are really pretty. They're Prima, I believe. And then this one gets tucked in right about here. So I'm going to put more glue on the side, more so than the bottom, so it can lay down. And that's going to fill in that space right there. Okay, let's take the word sweet. And just, whoopsie, just put it off to the side here. Okay, push that down. So now we want to go back and trim the excess ribbon. It should be dry. So I'm just going to turn that over. And snip it. And snip it. Don't want to snip the ephemera piece. That would just be my luck, huh? Should have probably trimmed it before I put the ephemera piece on. Okay. And there is the first one with the letter. So this is what we have so far. Let me take my clothespins off. That should be dry. So here's what we have so far. Okay. Let's move on to the banner piece that has the O. So it's this one. I'm using the cut apart that says "It Was Always You." I have a chipboard flower piece. Here's my letter O that I put glitter on. I do have a little B that's from the chipboard piece. And then I have one of the 2x2s that I mounted on some of the paper. And I made a rosette with the vellum pink paper that was in there. And I used a chipboard heart in the center. So I will show you how I did that. It's not hard, but I'll show you on the next. I have one more banner piece that's going to have the rosette. So I'll show you how to make that. If you keep watching, it'll be coming up. It's this piece measures 1 1/4 by 11. That's the size paper I use, and then I scored it at every 1/4 inch. Okay, so let me take a look here at my picture and we'll get started. Okay, let's start with our cut apart. This is It Was Always You. I've already inked the edges. I don't have chipboard on this one, because I think most of it's going to be on the banner, so it's not going to be hanging off that much. And it's going to come down right underneath the word rose, but the rose will probably be covered anyway, but about down like so. So once again, I'm only going to put glue on partial of the part of the back. Oh, I probably shouldn't have put it on that corner. Okay, I think I need to wipe off some glue on the back here. Alrighty. So that's what we have so far. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to put the B on the bottom corner of the cut apart. I put a little glue on it, just like so. Okay, now this one again was mounted, so it was the 2x2, and then I backed it with some of the paper, and this is going to go about right here. So put glue on part of it. This paper makes it so easy to decorate because everything is so beautiful that no matter what you do, it's going to turn out awesome. Okay. I'm going to place the rosette right like this. So it has a circular piece on the back that kept it together, and I'm just going to put glue on that. Like I said, I'll show you how I do the rosette on the next one. Make sure that's down. The O is going to go here. Hold that down for a second. Get rid of that excess glue that's coming out. Okay, so now I have a chipboard piece that's going to go here, and it will overlap the O just a hair. That's because layering is a good thing. Okay. And I just have a little heart that's got a little bit of red in it to tie in this red, and I just thought I'd put that down here or up here? Probably up here. Put some glue on it. I'm going to go down at the bottom. I think it goes better there. Okay. That's our third banner piece. Okay. That's going to go up to the side now. We're going to work on the V piece. So this is the banner piece we're going to use for that. I made a bow out of the organza heart ribbon. This is from the ephemera pack. This was a 2x2. I did mount it on chipboard and then backed it with on that like typewriter print paper to give it some height and some depth. The letter V. There were 3 stickers I backed on that typewriter paper. This pink one that says "So Romantic." This darker pink that says "A Love Story." And then a blue one that says "All My Heart." I have 3 flowers I'm using. Small, medium, and a large. Varying colors. I have a chipboard conversation heart that says "Forever." And then another small piece of ephemera. Okay, so now let's put that one together. Okay, let's start with the 3 sayings that are the sticker pieces. I'm going to start with the darker pink. I'm going to work backwards actually. I'm going to start with the light pink one that has the heart on it. And I'm just going to place that down near the bottom. Then I'll put the blue one on, and they're going to be staggered. And the last one is the dark pink that says "A Love Story." And actually this one can either go off this way or what do I want to do? I'll go this way. Place that just a little bit off to the side like so. The letter V is going to be placed here. And most of it, I want this to be on the banner and not have any overhang because it is pretty delicate. press that down, get my okay. And this bow is going to go in the corner up here, and I'll just use hot glue gun. Like so. Now I am going to put a heart, the ephemera or the chipboard heart that's like a conversation piece or a conversation heart. I put that in the center. Okay. And this piece is going to kind of bump up to the bow, and that's just going to be with regular glue. And I have that little piece of ephemera that's diamond shaped that's just going to go off to the side. Like so. Okay. This will be coming off the edge. And glue on just part of it. Let's put down our flowers. The big one's going to go at the top. The bigger one, none of them are the biggest. Give it a chance to dry here. And we have two that will go at the bottom. One is more of the sideways one, like so. Okay, and this one's going to be tucked off to the side. So I need glue on the side more than on the bottom. All right, and there is, look how pretty that paper makes it. So there's the V, and now we are going to work on the E banner piece, and this is where I'm going to show you how I made the rosette with the 1 1/4 by 11-inch strip of the vellum. We have a 2x2 that I mounted on the green or the blue polka dot paper. I took a sticker and mounted it on the blue paper. This was from the sticker collection. Put that on a piece of the blue. This was a 4x6 card that I ended up cutting to be a 3x4. I did put chipboard on the back, and because that's going to be hanging off a little bit, I do need to cover that. So let me find, what's the color on the back? Pink. I'll just, nope, that's not big enough. I'll just use this for the back. So I need to trim that to 3x4. And let's see if that's the right measurement. That will work as long as it's not too tall. maybe a hair. Let's go ahead and ink the edge. Glue that onto that chipboard. And again, this is the thin chipboard, it's not the thick one. It's not the heavier one. I have this piece that says So Much Love. That's a chipboard piece. The letter E that's got glitter, the You and Me, and then a little blue colored heart that's from the chipboard. So those are the pieces I'm going to use for this one. Let me get ready to do the rosette. So for the rosettes that I used the same measurements. So you're going to want 2 pieces of the vellum. Again, it's 1 1/4 by 11. And sometimes I go every 1/2 inch when I make the rosette. This time I went every 1/4 inch. So 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2, all the way till you get down to 10 3/4. Okay. Excuse me. So then once you have that scored, then you're just going to fan fold it back and forth. So this is a little bit trickier material to work with. So I was pinching it as I was going, and it's easy to get off from your score marks, but it'll still work. So just fan it. See, I already did. I went too far. Back and forth. And I'm pinching as I'm going. Pinch it, then go forward, then go backwards on the score marks. Okay. So I'll keep doing that. You will want to have a piece ready. I use a 1 1/4 inch circle, and then a piece for the top, which I'm going to use that chipboard piece. Okay. So I'm going to keep fanning, and then I'll glue the ends together. So after you accordion fold it, you kind of stretch it out because it is a pretty sturdy piece of vellum. I use just the art glitter glue, and I'm going to attach the 2 ends, and I'll place one on top of the other, and we'll just hold it for a second until it's dry. And I'd still have my glue gun heated up because that's how I'll attach this to the circular base. There we go. Okay. Now this is the hardest part, is getting, I think, down onto the, we're going to be pushing it towards the center so that it forms your rosette. So what we do is we're going to place glue on the circular piece. And try and center it and hold down. Like so. Give it a chance for that glue to dry. And then I'm going to be placing this heart on top, like so. So I'm just going to use the glue gun again. Put some in the center and press that heart down. Give it a chance to dry. All right, so there is our rosette. Pretty, pretty. So let's put together our E banner. So let me bring up the picture. E, where's that at? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to start with, down on the bottom corner, I have a You and Me chipboard piece. So I'll take the backing off of that, put some adhesive on there. Down on the bottom right hand corner. I also have a little heart that's from the chipboard piece, the chipboard stickers. It's more of a bluish gray color, kind of like this one right up here on the paper. And I'm just going to place that over there. It's going to overlap the U and the M and the E like so. So you can still see what it says. Okay. On the side, on the left hand side, we're going to place our cut apart, and it's going to go about from the hole, I'm going to say about half an inch to a whole inch down. I almost put glue on the wrong side. Put glue on a little over half of the back. Like so. Push down. The sticker that we put on blue polka dot paper is going to go at the bottom of that. Like so. That doesn't look straight to me. Okay. And the So Much Love sticker from the chipboard collection is going to go on that cut apart. Okay. So next, we're going to place this, and this is going to be behind it and kind of off to the side, so kind of going off a little bit like that. So you have to place the tag down first. Okay, and now we'll put the heart on top of it, and it overlaps. The heart doesn't really go off the banner, it stays on the main banner piece. Okay. The E is overlapping the tag and the heart. Like so. Press down, get rid of the excess glue. It will dry clear. And then our rosette goes here. And I'm going to use hot glue gun on that. Okay, and there is our E piece. Fabulous. So now we just have the end piece, and so let me show you the materials we'll use for that. Last banner piece of the lace, this cutout with paper on the back. I do have a piece of chipboard in between the two. This cut apart also has chipboard between the two. A heart from the chipboard collection. A gift of love sticker mounted on paper. 3 of the tickets that were stickers mounted on blue paper. And 3 hearts, or excuse me, 3 flowers. Okay, and that's going to be our last piece, and then we're going to be ready to put the string or the ribbon through it to hang it. All right, here we go, last one. Let's go ahead and put the lace piece down first. It's going to go on the right hand side. I will use art glitter glue, and then I'm going to trim it after I have it laid down. Okay, and I'm going to start lifting it up and filling in some more glue just to keep the sides down. Across the top. Okay. We'll give that a chance to dry before we trim it. Alright, so let's take this one that says love is meant to be, and we're going to place that on the left hand side, and it hangs off just a hair. So let's put glue on that. Okay. Let's find the heart chipboard piece, and that is going to be up here on the top. Add extra adhesive. So, all right, let's see, what do I want to do next? So this piece is going to overlap at an angle, and I wanted to add some more blue, so that's why I have this gift of love sticker, and I'm just going to cover that saying that's already on there with that, so add some blue to it. Okay. And like I said, at an angle. Like this. I'm going to use a little hot glue to give it, because the glue is a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to add some glue underneath. That made it stay down better. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over and trim the excess lace. Okay. What do we want to do next? In the upper left-hand corner here, I have a bow. I'm going to use hot glue gun to put that on. Okay, and next are the tickets and the 3 flowers. So I just kind of fanned them out. Like that, and then I'll be placing the flowers on top. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use, I don't know why, but I'm going to go ahead and I've got it open or ready, so the glue gun. And then I'm going to do the white colored one. And finally the dark pink one. Okay, so those are fanned out. And I'm going to place the flowers like so. Okay. Using the glue gun. Flower 2. And this one gets glue on the side because it just tucks in there. Oh, dropped it. Okay. And there's our last one. So now we get to see what it looks like all together, and we'll put the ribbon in to connect all of our pieces. Okay, the last thing you want to do is use the white ribbon with the pink hearts, and as I strung the banner onto it, I just weaved it in and out so that all the long pieces were in the back of the banner, like so. So all of the long pieces are in the back, so just up down is how I did it. So then you have loose pieces at the end that I wrapped around. So I took it through the hole twice. It's so big I can't. Okay, so once I put it in that last hole, I wrapped it around a second time so that it would stay. And I will take a picture of it laying on the floor or on the fireplace. I still have Christmas stuff up, so I don't want to take a picture of it there, but I will show you. Now lengthwise, this is probably over a yard long once it's done. So I will pan through this so you can see. All right, and then there's that one at the end. I can't get that in. There's no room. Okay, so that is the Craftology box project that I made, was the banner using the Simple Stories paper. Be watching for other designers' projects, and I hope you enjoyed it and that you make one. I'd love to see your pictures on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. Thanks.